Control matters. That's why plans are made, discipline is built, and standards are set. But it's never complete. There's always something you didn't account for. Don't hesitate. Decide. Act. Adjust. What comes next won't slow down for you. It won't care how ready you feel. The question is, will you be stopped? Michael Cross looked up from the podium. The dimly lit auditorium was empty. A clapping noise sprung alive behind him. Michael flinched. "Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you." Michael quickly regathered his composure and went into professional mode. "It's fine." He forced a brief chuckle. A heel turned, and several paces later, he stuck out his right hand and shook the hand of the older man. It wasn't until mid-shake that he noticed the nearby mop bucket. "Very inspiring speech, Michael." He flashed a smile as he examined the familiar janitor's embroidered name on the chest of his dark blue overalls. "Thanks, Nick. I thought I'd do a dry run beforehand. Any notes for me?" he asked. "I've worked here for 6 years, heard all the speeches, and I'll be honest, that one's definitely in its own league." Michael's rigid posture cracked, and his viridescent eyes briefly skipped away and back again. "Thanks. I really appreciate that," he admitted. Nick shrugged. "You always were a bright kid. I remember you'd win awards every year back at St. Julian's." The sheepish smile on Michael's face slipped away. The vague recognition that had been prodding him whenever he saw the university's janitor slapped him across the face. "Oh yeah, you worked there too, right?" "Still do. They cut me down to part-time. This is my second job." Michael's phone erupted with noise and began vibrating. "I'm sorry." He pulled it out. "No problem. I need to get back to work anyway. Good luck this evening." Michael pushed against the green circle that showed on his phone as he descended the stage's stairs and headed toward the auditorium's exit. "Hello?" "Your chauffeur's arrived, Mr. Cross." Michael faked a laugh. "I like this. Let's roll with this idea. How about you open the door for me when I get out there?" "Yeah, that's not happening." "Do you have my chilled bottle of water and green Skittles ready?" "You getting far too cheeky now that you're done with your classes." "Cheeky?" He pushed his way into the fresh spring air and spotted the red sedan and beelined toward it. "Is that one of them words you uncultured Americans aren't aware of?" "Hey!" Michael shouted. The phone was shoved back into a pocket before he opened the passenger's door. "How dare you!" He dropped into the car and buckled his seatbelt. Jack turned his head toward his passenger as he chomped on his gum. "With me mouth," he answered. "What?" Jack rolled his eyes, and his foot fell onto the gas pedal. "You asked how I dare. I answered with me mouth." He slid into the left lane after accelerating past a car. "Ah, yes, the imported, constant dry humor is sometimes lost on me." "Yeah, we'll have to work on your wit before we head over to the Republic. Don't want you embarrassing me in front of me mom or me mates." It was Michael's turn to roll his eyes. "I'll work on being more sarcastic." Jack further accelerated, and they passed beneath a yellow light as it turned red. "That sounded a bit sarcastic, but you really should." He glanced at Michael and smirked as he registered his reaction to the sudden acceleration. "Okay, but I'm not doing the accent." "Why not?" "I'd feel like I was doing an impression of the Lucky Charms guy," Michael answered. Jack slammed on the brakes, and they both jolted forward as the car stopped at the unavoidable red light. "Hey, don't be bringing up that little bastard in me car. He's a racist stereotype." Michael laughed. "Stop your laughing, Mr. Cross. It's bad enough I look like a feckin' leprechaun standing next to your lanky American arse. No need to rub it in." Jack rolled down his window and spit out his gum before rolling it back up. "You said it, not me." "Said what?" Michael suppressed his laughter. "That you look like a leprechaun." "Jesus feckin' Christ,
You can't be saying that word. That's our word. Hysterical laughter overtook Michael, and alarm bells went off in his mind as he lost composure. He turned toward the passenger side window as he tried to tamp down the fit. Yeah, laugh it up at the wee ginger man's expense. Jack turned sharply and accelerated. Bet you're wondering if I've a soul too, aren't you fair-haired father? What? Michael gasped. Don't be dodging it, Jack exclaimed. He wove back and forth between cars. You're a giant from the other world, here to steal me gold. Michael raised his hands. You got me, Jack, he played along. I've been planning it since that fateful day we met. I saw a short, red-headed Irishman in green scrubs in the Great Plains Medical Center cafeteria and hatched my plan to ride the Rainbow Road to Easy Street.
First of all, Jack interrupted, I'm not short. I'm 5'8.5", 5'9" in shoes, and that's average here and in the Republic. You're just a giant, sir. Michael began laughing again. 5'8.5". Second, Jack continued, I saw you first, earlier that week, and I changed me lunchtime to match yours. Michael's laughter extinguished. What? He asked. Yeah, your frat volunteers at the hospital every year in December. Jack glimpsed at Michael, and his eyebrows arched, creating hills and valleys on his pale forehead. His lips formed a dusty rose curl. You fellas are always great crack. Dunno if you noticed, but me co-workers are mostly middle-aged women and lads twice me age. So, whenever Beta Alpha Mu sends over a crew, I see what's what. Michael went silent for a few seconds. Jack turned up the radio and checked the rearview mirror before diving into the opposite lane. Michael turned the radio down. Wait, but I initiated the conversation. I saw you sitting alone near the window, and I thought you looked sad and lonely. You were just staring out the window at the falling snow. Jack shrugged. The day before, I sat with a few of your frat brothers and tried to strike up a conversation, but we didn't click. I figured that year's batch of Beta Alpha Mu lads was a bust. Michael braced himself as the car jerked leftward across the oncoming traffic lanes and into a side street. Shallow hills beyond a black iron fence hosted dozens of tombstones and the occasional mausoleum outside the passenger's side window. A chill raced down his spine. Meeting Jack for the first time percolated in his mind. He pressed himself to try and recall seeing him prior to that moment. He knew it had been the Wednesday of their Christmas break volunteer week because he had been wearing his black Blunderstone boots, which had been a fortuitous alignment of his winter outfit rotation. Over 4 inches of snow had fallen the night before, and the stylish black boots had kept his feet warm and dry. He recalled the prior day, his first day volunteering at Great Plains Medical Center. It had just been him and Benjamin Hector. Tuesday, that winter, meant he had been wearing his red suede Clark's Tor Hill boots. No snow yet. Benjamin had been wearing scrubs and had insisted he would want to change out of his Madewell Heritage merino sweater, but he rejected the idea and suffered and sweated the entire day. Michael's brow furrowed as he stared out his window. The old, unique homes of the Matilda Hills neighborhood passed in front of him. He remembered Justin Franklin had been the only one from Beta Alpha Mu to volunteer on that Monday. The stacking memories in his head, along with all of their nagging details, fell over as he snapped back to the present moment. Jack was turning into the very short driveway of the small, square brick house that they were renting. He suppressed the urge to pick at Jack's explanation regarding the events that had apparently taken place prior to their meeting.
Jack turned off the car and looked over to Michael.
We need to book the flight soon. It's only going to get more expensive the longer we wait. Michael watched as a monarch butterfly soared by outside his window. And the hotel? he replied. The butterfly headed toward the flowers that lined the front of the house. Me mum won't have it. She's kept me room intact for when I come to visit, Jack explained. Michael suppressed the urge to say something that would only cause a rift in their day. His attention leapt back into the car, and he looked over at Jack. He was fishing in his pocket, probably for gum, he figured. Michael's attention shifted to his mildly struggling face. Having trouble? He asked. Jack's attention shifted from the hand in his pocket, and he briefly made a face and stuck his tongue out. Icy shock slammed into Michael. Jack's eyes were gone, replaced by black holes. The heavy stench of sulfur punched him in the nose. He choked as he fought to regain his breath. You okay? Michael blinked several times and wiped his eyes. Jack's eyes were back, and the smell was gone.